everyone, and welcome to Back Alley Chat. Today we have a remarkable guest joining us, Ramon Barber, hailing from Riviera Beach, Florida. From a young age, Ramon found solace and inspiration through sports, which propelled him into a successful football career. But his true calling emerged when he began working with youth and teens, igniting a passion for making a positive impact. As the founder of Motivated King Incorporated, Ramon is dedicated to empowering at-risk youth, teens, and young adults through educational resources in leadership development, mental well-being, financial management, and social integration. And I'm so grateful that we're able to bring you important interviews like this with awesome community contributors. And all of that is thanks to our sponsor, Quick Intel. Are you tired of feeling uncertain in the world of crypto trading? We have the solution for you. Quick Intel is on a mission to make crypto safer, providing advanced AI tools and cutting-edge technology to help you stay one step ahead of scams and make informed investment decisions. With Quick Intel's proactive approach, you can detect scams before they happen, gain insights that empower you to make well-informed decisions, and have greater trust in the projects that you're interested in. Don't let scammers take advantage of you. Visit quickintel.io today and discover the fastest and most reliable information you need to navigate the crypto space with confidence. We are incredibly grateful to have Quick Intel for their sponsorship, allowing us to bring you this podcast episode. Make sure to show them some love, quickintel.io. Also, if you are on Dex Tools, there is a Quick Intel tab there, so you can scan any contract. They are up to 600,000 scans now, making them a trusted resource in the crypto industry. So, with that being said, hi.
Hi.
Mr. Barber, how's it going today?
I'm amazing. Thank you, Ali. That was a great intro, by the way.
I did try my best.
You do your work. You do good.
I'm like transitioning. I'm like morning at work and then like afternoon here, and then we're going to go back and then we got school. You know, we're juggling.
Bad women.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we know that you're a Riviera Beach native, huh?
Yes.
You're from here. You live here. You help here. And our upbringings often impact the paths that we take in our adult lives.
Agreed.
So I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about like your upbringing and how do you feel like that might have encouraged you to take some of the chances that you've been taking and creating some of the change that you've been creating in our community.
Absolutely. So as Ali stated, I'm from Riviera Beach, Florida. I grew up pretty much raised by a single mom. I have a younger brother. We're about 5.5, 6 years apart. So she did the best she could with what she had. My dad's from Detroit. He wasn't really in our life much, but we knew who he was. We knew, he came in and out, here and there. Mm-hmm. Nothing bad to say there. Just grateful, for everything. My mom always worked very hard, so that's where I get my work ethic from. My grandmother, same thing. She worked very hard. My aunt worked very hard. I come from a very hard-working line of women.
Yeah, hard-working women. What did they do?
Right. My aunt is soon to be retired from the post office. She's been there. I'm 39. She's probably been there since before I was, maybe a little bit after I was born. So she's been there about 34 years or something like that. Yeah. My grandmother retired from hospitality. She did that for who knows how long. My mother is in the school board. She's a teacher. And she'll be ready to retire within a year or two herself.
Congratulations to Mom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big accomplishment to even be able to retire nowadays.
Tell me about it.
Tell me about it is so rare for so many individuals to even have that opportunity. 100%. So that is a blessing.
100%.
Uh-huh.
And so basically that's where the work ethic was instilled in me. I saw that nothing comes easy. You got to go out and get it. You got to go work, put in overtime, whatever you got to do to make sure the people who depend on you are taken care of. That's what my mother and my grandmother and my aunt instilled in me. Mm-hmm. As far as what brought me to the path that I'm on, just a series of lessons, losses. I don't really like to, call them losses. I like to call them lessons, but just a series of things that transpired in my life that really helped me understand that I'm here to be different. I'm here to do a job, and it's not self-serving. It's all about service to other people. It's all about service to other communities. It's all about service to the humanity overall and the betterment of humanity. And I did my fair share of detracting from humanity in my younger years and being selfish. And I realized that the results that gave me wasn't fulfilling. And I got tired of like being sick of myself, you know? So I decided to turn over a new leaf mainly after I had a son.
Okay. How old's your son?
He's 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my. So you had your son when you were 30 then?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I heard you talking the other day on the Inner City Innovators podcast
Mm-hmm.
about how, you were playing football and sometimes that becomes like your entire identity.
Very dangerous.
And so is that something that you experienced a lot? And then kind of when you lose that, you're not playing ball anymore because at some age, no matter how great you are, you're not going to be playing forever.
Absolutely.
You kind of have to figure out what else you're going to do. Can you tell us about like that kind of metamorphosis that
Absolutely.
happened?
So I'm actually grateful that my career ended early, because I had to figure it out soon. I had to figure it out really fast. And a lot of guys don't have that luxury. They kind of, finish in their 30s, early 30s or late 30s, whatever their path is. But I was done playing by the time I was 26, 27. And I really didn't know, like I stated on the other podcast, I didn't know what my path was, but I knew I had to do something to better myself and others. I knew that I could not be here just blowing like a leaf in the wind. I knew that. And that came strictly from God. My mom always made sure I kept God first. Ask God what your path should be, and he'll direct your path. And that's kind of what it's been. And so now at this point, I'm just following God's orders every day for my life, every single day.
How did you start Motivated King? How long has that been around for? And what kind of inspired that for you to like help the youth in the community?
Yep, awesome. 5 years now. April 12th, 2018 was my original launching date. And basically what inspired it was me seeing what Ricky Aiken was doing. And I saw him actually going into the communities, actually making a huge impact with just limited resources. And I was like, I want to do that. And basically I started seeing gaps in things that weren't being offered. And that's when I started creating a curriculum slowly but surely to what people needed, what I felt like they needed, because I realized what I didn't have growing up. And it was plug and play, and play, see what works, see what doesn't, and keep it moving.
So what does that look like on a daily basis for you? I know you stopped by my office with a bunch of kids one day and they were like so good. I was like, oh my God, these little kids are adorable. So what does that look like when you're working with them, and how do you encourage them to kind of build these leadership skills, or to, like we were just talking about, get out of their own way and be something more than maybe what they see others being in their community?
So it's all about pushing yourself, right? And I love to expose. I feel like the best way to learn is exposure, and you have to expose, in particular, young kids to things that they don't know is going on. There is homelessness out here. There is people helping homelessness, and I want them to see you. I want them to see the other superheroes you work with. I want them to even see the homeless people to understand that, hey, they are worthy of compassion as well. I'd be careful with the deserve word. I can explain that. But yeah, they're worthy of compassion too. They're worthy of empathy. They're worthy of sympathy. So we want to always, we're no better than anyone.
Right.
And that's what I really want to instill in them. We're no better than anyone we encounter. God loves all of us, so why can't we?
Right. He made all of us.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
For sure. So what's been one of the most rewarding experiences you've had thus far with any of your youth? Anything that like sticks out to you in particular?
I'm actually really, really pleased with the progress of a lot of my mentees throughout the years. I have parents and I have people always come to me and say, thank you for what you taught my son, or taught my nephew, or something like that, man. We really appreciate the effort you put in. You helped us learn. Parents say that often. You helped us learn how to deal with them better, how to connect with them better. And that's what I do it for. I don't even take the kid out of the home. I do my best to encompass the entire family structure, because I felt like it was counterproductive at the beginning of the program to just take the kid out of the home, teach him this, and then send him back into the home and not have anything in the home to back up what we're teaching them when we're away. So I had to realize, like, the parents have to be involved with this as well. That's the only way this is really going to work.
For sure.
And so that's really how the program evolved. And like I said, through trial and error, we're humans. Nobody's perfect, and we're okay with that.
Yeah, for sure. So, important question. Now, they say it's you should always have 3 people in your life. That you should have a mentee, someone below you who you're helping and you're inspiring to get where they want to be. You should have somebody on your level, a best friend. You can exchange ideas and, be on that level together. And then you should always have a mentor. So I was wondering, who is your mentor?
I have several.
Okay.
Because as you know, I do a lot of stuff. So I feel like I like to call myself a jack of all trades, master of none. So I have to have mentors in each endeavor that I encounter. And so I have, I opened up a kava bar in Atlanta. I had to have a kava mentor. I have a real estate investing business. I have a real estate mentor. I have a nonprofit mentor. So each lane that I'm in, and I don't know if I'm going to announce yet, but each lane that I'm in, I have a mentor. And and I like to learn from people who have gone before me. And I like to learn from their mistakes. That's wisdom. So
for sure.
That's really what I can't think of anybody in particular. Maybe they may not want me to say names, but they know who they are, who I go to for, certain type of information, certain type of, just questions. They are always there for me.
Right. And how do you suggest somebody find a mentor if they're trying to, do something? Great question.
The best advice I can give people who are looking for a mentor is just ask. You don't know what you don't know, and most people out here are willing to help if you just speak up and ask. One of my major things that I teach to my mentees is people are always willing to help someone who's willing to help themselves.
Yes.
So if you're helping yourself, you will find you a mentor.
For sure.
That's guaranteed.
So true. If you are doing what you got to do, people will be there to help. But if you just want to suck somebody's time, which sometimes people do, but it's because they don't realize that you need to put stuff into action. Like I have a lot of people that reach out to me and they go, "Hey, Allie, I want to help my community. How do I do it?" And so naturally you can be good with people, right? That's a natural thing. But you can't always be good at helping people naturally because you don't naturally know all the resources.
That's right.
You got to go learn them.
That's right.
Right? And so I can't teach you the resources in Atlanta, Georgia or in wherever. I don't know. I only know unfortunately really here because it's a lot of information.
It is. It's jam-packed.
There's a lot of stuff out there, or people want to start a program, but they haven't done like a needs assessment like you were speaking about. You're filling the gaps in the services that you found, so that's also super important. But yes, I think it's very important to be willing to put in that work. And when people see you that you're actually doing it, they will be more than happy to help you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see you do it every day.
I do my best.
You do. And kudos. 100% kudos to you. One day I was driving by, sidebar, but I was driving by and I saw Allie under I-95's bridge, like helping her. I was like, wait, where did she park? Where's her car? Did she walk over here? I was like, did she fly over here? Like, this is amazing. Right. And that's the type of stuff that inspires me. Like, no joke. Like, who am I to complain or whine or whatever when I see you out there doing that? That's the stuff that matters.
Yeah, and it's all about, making that impact with your actual actions and with your feet. Sometimes, I don't know if I get frustrated, but there's a lot of people online who their whole thing is they're advocates or whatever they are, right? And so they spit awesome game. They're really good at inspiring people on the internet. But at the end of the day, I've never seen them outside doing anything for our community, right? And so it kills me because it's like, I can make that kind of content too, but I don't have a fucking day to make the shit because I'm out here actually doing the work, there right? So it can be, you're like, oh my God, this person's so full of it. They don't have a clue as to some of the barriers or the issues that we're truly dealing with, but they sound amazing.
Yeah, that's what everybody's salesman out here, man.
For real.
The salesman culture is kind of taking over, and it's kind of sad because people aren't real anymore.
Right.
Social media is truly, 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 as much of a blessing that it has been, and it's also been a huge curse because people think they could just get on there, get a certain amount of followers, bots, whatever, and, they're doing something. They're an expert. But it's like, no.
Right. You don't know anything. And how does that affect the kids, because they see these people on here living these lives and showing this stuff, but half of it is not real.
Right.
And I was just speaking about it on one of my last podcasts. Like, you might be watching these influencers and they have all this dope stuff, but you don't know how much debt that they're in, what's really going on in their financial life. And it's things that we look up to and we want. Like, I want to have a house like that, or I want that decor, that aesthetic. God, their house always looks perfectly clean and whatever. But it's not reality.
And most of those people don't even like their lives.
Right.
They are miserable on the inside.
Right.
That's the sad part. So I focus on inward pleasure, things that we need inwardly to be better human beings. That's what I want to teach my mentees about. That's what I teach everybody who I encounter. I want to show them, like, hey, man, some days I don't have my account's being the negative, but you wouldn't know it.
Right.
I'm still going to help you. I'm still going to smile. I'm still going to be a great person. That's all that matters.
For sure.
And eventually, the money shows up.
Especially if you keep doing the right thing.
That's right.
If you just keep going, the universe is always going to take care of you.
That's right. Always. It's not a day that my son and I don't get to eat. It's not a day that we don't have a roof over our head. It's not a day that I don't have gas in my car. So God got me.
For real.
Right.
And now you're just an entrepreneur. So
Absolutely.
you're out here. You have a kava bar in Georgia.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Bad business partner, bad business deal.
Got it.
Got to be honest about that stuff.
And that's how you learn about that stuff. If you never go through it, that's one thing you're not going to be able to help your mentee with.
That's right.
Because you've never learned
That's
it.
right. And they know all about it. I don't hide the negative stuff. It is what it is.
Right.
Everybody goes through it.
And I think it's important because that negative stuff, that's what I'm talking about, that people don't talk about online.
Thank you.
Right? The struggles that they've gone to get to where they're at today, or like, I've been through a million of them, Even I talk to people all the time. Yeah, I started a business as a young person, but guess what? I don't have it anymore because I didn't know what I was doing. Because I was, 20 years old, don't have a clue, doing my best, but never, was taught and just didn't know. And that's part of life, is
100%.
learning those things.
100%. Absolutely.
So your son is 9 years old, and is he going to the same school you went to?
No, so he's actually in UB Kinsey.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like way smarter than I was. but he knows how to play, what is that thing? The violin. He was in the orchestra.
Wow.
He's going into band now, I think. I just let him explore him. I don't want to push me onto him. He say, Daddy, I want to be just like you. I'm like, no, I want you to be better than me.
Right.
Like, I don't want you repeating the same mistakes that I made. You're supposed to learn from me. And that makes you automatically better. And I feel like he understands. And my son appreciates every piece of this journey. He's along on every piece of the journey with me. I don't hide anything from him. I keep him, knowledgeable about life. And I think I recognize and realize this. I'm not raising a kid. I'm raising a future husband, a future father, a future leader, a future manager, CEO. Like, whatever he wants to be, that's how I'm raising him. I'm raising him accordingly. You know? So I want him to be responsible. I want him to love people. I want him to build good relationships from the foundation up with people.
And I can't imagine how empowering it is to be able to have a life with just you and your son, because it's rare, to have a single dad. I lived with my dad since the age of 7.
Okay.
So I can definitely relate to that. And it's a different environment. Not always having that motherly.
Well, the blessing
he has your grandma, your aunt.
Well, his mom is still there. His mom,
Okay.
he still sees his mom. His mom is a great mom. I don't want to come on here and make it seem like I'm doing it all by myself. No, she's a great mom. She does amazing with him and her other kids. She loves her kids more than life itself. So I don't want to take all the credit. She's great. She's a great mother.
But you do get that opportunity that a lot of people don't get, being so close with your son and being able to just give him so much love and support and all the things that he chooses, right?
I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah.
So grateful for it.
That is too cool.
Absolutely.
And so I'm sure that plays a big role in why you want to change your community and make it better.
100%.
And so you're also doing real estate. What do you do with the real estate?
So I started Motivated King Property Solutions.
Okay.
4 years ago. But that's not when I really advertised like that, because I don't want my message to get misconstrued there. I look to only invest altruistically, which means I like to go into the lower class neighborhoods and purchase those properties from D level properties and improve them up to C and B level properties. Still keep them affordable for the people that are in that community, and I think that's immensely important, especially with what's going on around here.
Super important, because we both know that our area, or your specific area, is really getting gentrified.
Oh my God.
And it has made such an impact in the lives of people who have lived here their entire lives.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it kills me, like, even in the Broadway corridor or down there by Blue Heron and Broadway, you know, they're going to redo that whole area.
and I'm like, where are we going to go?
Right. Exactly.
We're not going to be able to afford to live here.
And when are y'all going to even do this? Because it took them, a decade to blow that building up?
Thank you. I think they were still trying to figure out what they wanted to do with that building. Right. But obviously nothing for the people that live there.
No.
Which is sad.
Yeah, it's super sad.
Super sad.
And so I know that they want to bring like the courthouse and everything to that downtown area and try to, and I mean, granted, it's a beautiful waterfront community.
Of course.
But, you know, that's gonna.
I'm telling you, it's gonna mess up the way the city is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really, really, really sad that we don't have even a movie theater in the city of Lake Park, Riviera Beach, West Palm Beach. You got to go you got to go to Wellington. You got to go to Jupiter. You got to go to Boynton, Boca, Delray,
Right.
Wellington. You got to go somewhere far to go be entertained. We don't have a bowling alley. We don't have, skating rinks, like things that I grew up with.
You need things to do. If you want kids to stay out of trouble, you need to give them something to do all day,
Absolutely.
right?
We can't, most families in those inner cities can't even afford to send their kids to the Boys and Girls Club anymore.
Wow.
They've been priced out. So now we got moms at work all day and their kids home all day getting into who knows what.
Right.
Right? Or dads at work all day getting in, and their kids getting into you know what. Like, I just think we're really being tested, you know.
And what is the solution? Because I hear the city of Riviera Beach isn't even very friendly to entrepreneurs. I hear it's very difficult for entrepreneurs to be successful in that city. And so I'm wondering, as a city that I'm pretty sure everyone on the city council is Black, right?
Yes.
So as a Black, completely ran city, why do they make it so difficult for success, you know?
So honestly, I don't know. Because I don't really go into those. I go to those meetings every now and then and things of that sort, but I don't engulf myself in that, because ultimately I don't want to fight battles amongst us. I would rather go do the work, get things rolling, show them the proof of action, the proof of plan, and say, listen, how can we insert this into this city? So this is why I say, you know what, I'm just going to lead by example. I'd rather avoid arguments, because ultimately I don't mind debating, but arguments don't get you nowhere.
And a lot of the councils, I see a lot of arguing that happens
thank
there.
you. That's mainly what I've observed. And I'm like, I'm not even about to get into this. Like, it's pointless, because nobody is listening to understand. Everybody just wants to listen to respond, and everybody wants to be right.
Right.
That's ego driven. That's, it's not what it's really supposed to be about, in my opinion, which is why I made the decision that I'm sure we're going to get to.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, yeah. So I definitely decided, I want to be more impactful on a bigger scale, and I felt like my nonprofit, like you said, it wasn't getting the support from the leaders of our cities, and that's in Riviera, West Palm. Right. It is what it is. So at the end of the day, I've gone to certain people, I'll leave names out, but I've gone and I asked for help. I've hey man, could you point me towards some funding for a program, so on and so forth? Crickets. Never anything, never any responses, never any help, not even a phone number passed, which is okay. That's all right. But I at least asked. Right. So now I feel like it's your responsibility as a leader around here to step up and do what you put me in contact. Right. Well, hasn't happened. Been 5 years. I've literally been funding majority of my nonprofit out of my own pocket, doing my own fundraisers, doing my own, just doing
everything, making it happen.
Right. And so I said, okay, enough is enough. I won't get the help that I'm going to ask for, so now I'm about to become the help. So that's what made me make the decision to run for state representative for District 88. And I'm running as a Republican candidate because I want to break the mold. I have broke the mold. I'm an example of what the mold being broken looks like. Like I said, I come from Riviera Beach. I come from lower income, come from single family home. I come from not knowing how to even start a business, not even knowing I have the ability to start a business, to having starting 4 of them.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
And if I can do that, I have nothing any different than anyone else. If I can do that, anybody can do that. Yeah, I just have this simple word called belief.
Right.
And that starts with my faith in God, and then from there it goes with my faith in me. And that's what made me make that decision to run for state representative.
And that's going to be a tough race, my friend.
Absolutely.
I was looking at the last race with the, I can't remember her name, Hispanic woman.
Ross Stevens.
And I mean, Tay won like 80% of the vote.
Of course.
And you're in a highly Democratic area. And so I want to know why did you choose to run as a Republican? Have you always been one? Whatever. And how do you plan to get your community to trust you?
100%. Great question. So, no, I haven't always been one. Just being honest with you, because I didn't know any better. We kind of are indoctrinated and taught that we are certain things when we come from certain areas, certain neighborhoods, in particular lower class. We're taught survival, not thrival. And I felt like, to a certain extent, the Democratic Party thrives on survival. You know, just giving,
Basic needs.
Basic needs. Lower class people just here, you need some food stamps, you're not making no money. Cool, we'll give that to you, but you can't make over this money, or you're cut off. Or if you need Section 8, you can't be married. You can't have a man in your house, or you won't get this Section 8. To me, that's a tad bit crippling. So, not saying that it's not necessary, not saying that if you have that stuff, because my best friend, and trust me, I have plenty of people that I've connected to that needed that stuff.
Sure.
I'm not knocking it at all. But when it comes time for you to want to progress, it's a challenge.
It is a challenge because, I know just from our job that, and they had a program for a little bit through HUD that was like, okay, we'll allow you to stay in your housing if you make X amount of money, because they were now trying to get people to buy into themselves, right? Because we've gone so many decades with saying, hey, you can't make more than this amount of money. Your household has to be this small, whatever,
100%.
that people have not wanted to move forward in either education or their careers.
That's right.
Because again, they will be, because there's that middle ground, right? Where you make too much to get any assistance, but you make too little to actually live.
Thank you, right?
So they don't want to go there because that's even worse than where they're at, really. So you have that in-between moment that people are avoiding. But I don't believe anyone really got involved in that program.
Right. And let's be honest, it's a scary place to try to start a business.
Sure.
It's scary.
Oh,
you don't know if you don't know how to create money, the definition of entrepreneur is you create revenue stream. You create the money, the business, the cash flow. That's a scary place for a lot of people.
Sure.
In particular, if you're not educated on how to do that. And in particular, if you're only taught how to live one way. So ultimately, I feel like I progressed throughout my time, throughout my life, especially once I got to the professional ranks. Well, college, I went to Illinois State University. That was the first big blessing. That was the single-handed event in my life that really got me to see, like, oh, wait, life is completely different. Like, I went to Illinois, had never been there before, had never even seen snow before, and I ended up earning a full scholarship up there to play football, and that literally saved and changed my life. Because
in what way?
In every way.
What did you get your degree in?
I didn't graduate.
Oh.
So I only went to college to play football.
Right.
Being honest, I didn't care. I didn't care about school like that. I just wanted to get away from Riviera Beach. I knew I didn't want to grow up. I didn't want to do the normal stuff that people coming out of high school were doing. So I went as far away as I possibly could to learn as much as I possibly can, and it paid off for me. And I really felt like that was the switch to get me to see, like, there's way more to life. Right. Football allowed me to travel to God knows how many places. I've been to Alaska.
Wow.
Exactly.
So cool.
Never even knew I would ever go to Alaska. right? I lived in Canada. I played in the CFL.
Awesome.
I played in a bunch of teams in arena football. So football literally blessed me with exposure. And that was a single-handed pivotal point. I don't want to use trigger. Pivotal point that got me to realize, like, you can be bigger than what they told you can be. And so now, coming full circle, As I became a business owner and entrepreneur, I started realizing like I'm no longer really in the Democratic mindset. And mind you, I also realized that Democratic mindset, Republican mindset aren't too far apart.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
They just pretend that they are.
Exactly. They really are not. One group spends money one way, the other group feels like they need to spend money another way.
Right. One on war, one on social services.
Thank you.
That's simple.
That's simple. I couldn't say it any better than that. And I'm the one that is for self-sustaining, self-sufficiency, you being the powerful American that we can be, that we should be, that we're all able to be. Everybody is able to be. And let's just learn and grow. So if I got to be the first one to throw the rock in there and get the ripple effect going to get people to see like, hey, man, we need to make some changes. And if we want the changes made, we got to become the change.
Right.
That's what it's about for me. I don't want to just keep sitting back with my hand out saying, help me, help me, help me. No. I'm going to go get it.
Right.
So that's really what my decision was about. That's what, and also you mentioned the district is really heavily Democratic, in my opinion. Like me, we just don't know better. We just didn't know any better. We didn't know that we have people out here that really will help us propel ourselves forward. So now I'm gonna give them a face like them.
And how do you plan on educating them though? Because that seems like a big undertaking, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It'll be fun. I think it'll be awesome. Any change in ideas, or just to see a young person like yourself, like just doing something, I think is amazing. But so you'll draw them in with your smile. But then what? So how do you plan on
continuing to educate myself? First of all, like I'm a bookworm now.
Okay.
I just read daily. I read. I pay attention to everything around me, around politics, around just social culture. And I don't really have a game plan of how I'm going to just convert people other than just being who I am and let them know I'm from the same exact struggle that they are. And I just want to be the example and be the person to come help them, to show them like, I'm here to help you if you're willing to help you yourself. And I'll give the entire game of how I've done it. I plan on having a lot of little town hall meetings,
Cool.
I'm doing major.
I've had some people from Riviera asking about if you're going to have town halls and where, so you got to let everybody know.
Absolutely. I'm going to be knocking on doors too. Don't get that.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
going to the neighborhood.
All right, going hard. I love it.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm from there. So what I look like not going to knock on these doors, going to speak to these people right where they are.
For sure. And so how much do you know, or how much do you think you'll have to learn about the process of even being a state representative? I know that Tay Edmonds has his mentor, Bobby Powell, who obviously was a huge help in getting him elected and pushing him as far as he's gotten. So how do you plan to learn all the things that he's been learning as an aide?
I plan on outworking them all. I don't know what else to tell you. You learn through experience. You learn by doing it yourself. You learn by, getting out there, getting dirty, which you and I both know. I'm not I'm not going to be the cookie cutter old school Republican. No. We've evolved. Look at me. I always make sure people know that.
Right.
Nothing. I can't change to be anything but what I am. So ultimately, I'm going to be out here doing the real work, educating myself, and we just gonna build a strategic army to make sure people know that we out here spreading love, light, and we want you to have opportunities. Right. And that's what I'm doing. I want to go create more jobs for the inner city people. I want to go create more jobs. I want to create more funding for nonprofits that are operating in these areas that are not getting the support from the government, so on and so forth. I want to go to Tallahassee and say, hey, we got people down there doing the work that need help. Right. We got infrastructure down there that needs to be improved. Our nonprofits need to have buildings to operate out of. Right. Like these are simple
And they have
things.
a ton of buildings that are just sitting empty all over.
All
over. Houses too, because what are going to be the main things that you focus on? Because right now, in my opinion, our community is having a tough time with housing, drugs, and violent crime.
Absolutely.
So how do you plan on making a dent in any of that stuff? Because it's gotten better throughout the years, obviously, right? But there's a long way to go.
Absolutely. So the first thing is we got to get elected. And then next thing you know, day one of getting in that seat, we got to start creating policies to go get some money for these small businesses. I feel like since the blue collar workers have been pretty much eliminated in our city, we definitely have to rebuild our city and secure ourselves by getting more small businesses open, getting more people hired. If you have a successful small business right now, we'll look to get you some more money so you can give people raises, possibly give them benefits packages, possibly hire more people.
Right.
That's what we got to do.
More money.
More money. We need it. And if there is money in the district that is being spent the wrong way, let's get that reallocated to spend it the right way. So I plan on taking a deep dive into the city budget, District 88's budget, to see how things are being spent, see what is effective, what's not. So we're attacking it full speed ahead.
I got to bring up this issue because I think that this is just crazy. So I was talking to a coworker of mine, and her niece, I believe, is in school. And basically, she was having a lot of issues. They were trying to get a meeting with the teacher for months and months and months and months and months, right? They finally get the meeting like a month before school is ending. She's in school on Saturday. My friend goes with her, and basically it's just a computer teaching the kid everything.
Wow.
They're reading on there. They're just getting their entire lesson off a computer.
Wow.
And, thank God, your son's at UB Kinsley, but there's a lot of children that are going to be using our public school system. And how do we expect them to be successful if they don't even actually have a hands-on teacher with them to help guide them or even see if they're okay or see where they're struggling at and try to provide resources? I mean,
I'm totally with you. This whole AI movement does make me nervous.
Yeah.
We already are becoming separated as a society as a whole in general. Instant gratification is something that is ruining us, and nobody wants to work hard for the long-term goal and for the long-term achievement. So with that being said, my goal is again to, like I said, go to Tallahassee. We're gonna get some funds reallocated, and if I have to, I want to start hiring tutors through nonprofits to start filling in those missing gaps, filling in those things that school boards are trying to eliminate to make it easier for themselves. Well, let's go ahead and get some help on the nonprofit side so where we can fill in those gaps. Then now we're not missing that social interaction that's needed. Now we know, okay, if this kid is struggling, we have a human being right there to figure that out and help them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of putting some stuff in the computer and ChatGPT.
And what are we expecting? Like a parents even like you said, a lot of the parents right now, they're struggling themselves, just trying to keep a house and electricity on. I mean, how much is the average rent in your city? Do you know?
It has gone to about, last time I haven't checked it in about 3 weeks because it was depressing to look at it.
It's depressing. I know in West Palm it's at least $1,600.
Yeah, that's like
lower
a studio,
level. Yeah,
that's like one bedroom. Exactly.
Not in a nice neighborhood.
Exactly.
Typically, I think if those individuals could have more freedom, which would come by having more money. I had to write this paper for class, and they were like, you have to look at the job posting and then tell us what they're really saying. So I looked at a job posting for a homeless outreach worker, right? And I was just having fun.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, so basically what they're looking for is someone who has half a decade of experience, but is also very passionate about the homeless, because you have to be passionate to go to work and be poor every day because they want to pay you $38,000 a year. Right? So it's like, what are we trying to get out of people? You need to be paying them a living wage, like you said, thriving, not surviving, so they can just work one amazing job, do great work, and go home and feed themselves food that isn't going to kill them, right? To sleep 8 hours a night, to do the things that keep our long-term health in check that get put to the wayside when you don't have enough money or time.
To be able to do that stuff. Absolutely. Again, like these are, because I put social workers in the same group as teachers. They're all overworked and underpaid. That's why we have so much frustration in classrooms. My mom, man, my heart goes out to her.
Right.
Sometimes I've heard my mom come home so frustrated, so sad, crying. I've seen it all with that. Right. And it's sad because I know she loves the children. She loves what she does, but
what is she frustrated with primarily?
Just being overworked, having huge classroom sizes, and it's just her.
Right.
language barriers. She's at Palmetto Elementary, and a lot of kids don't even know English. Like,
wow.
Just a lot of stuff. And then she doesn't make a lot of money to deal with all that.
Right.
So it's like, I don't blame you. Eventually,
Right.
you can't keep burning that candle at both ends and think
sure.
one side's not gonna, come up lacking. So that's what's happening. You're burning people out, and you're not giving them enough to replenish themselves, like you just explained.
And I know that DeSantis definitely passed the pay raise for teachers,
Yes.
which I think is great.
Yes.
But he also passed all this like book stuff.
Yeah. So
What is the deal here? Who cares? I mean, all these kids have the internet. I don't understand why it matters.
well, this is just my opinion. I haven't really. I haven't spoken with him, obviously, to know why he did what he did. But in my opinion, I feel like he kind of maybe wanted to put the responsibility back in the homes a little bit, which I'm not opposed to.
Right.
I would love to teach my son about Black history. I would love to teach my son about, anything that he needs to learn, whatever it is, even if it's whatever, the whole, LGBTQ community and things of that sort. I have friends and really good friends in that community, and my son calls them uncle.
Right.
I don't have a prejudice bone in my body. I love human beings. So ultimately, I think it's an actual pleasure for it to be put back in my lap to have to educate my own child about certain things. But a lot of people feel like they want to send their kids to school to learn that stuff, or not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I understand both sides of it. I really do. But I do understand why he took the stance that he did, if that's really why he did it, what he did it for,
Right.
And he's running for the presidency. He has to.
He's got a whole other.
Yeah, he has to
He was
make
better
fine
a
lines.
couple years ago, in my opinion. But
Understood.
I liked him during COVID. I was like, yeah, let us go. I want to be free.
That's
let
right.
me go to the beach.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was definitely grateful for stuff like that. But it seems like lately he's gone on a different course.
Right.
Maybe. So.
He's trying to earn votes, man. In my opinion, I get it. I do get it. He's second to Trump in the popularity polls and so on and so forth. So he's just trying to gain ground. Right. It's all posturing, man. That's what this is. Political. That's what I'm learning. I didn't.
Yeah, it's a big political game you're about to get into. There's a lot going on.
It's called posturing, man. You have to take certain stances to get certain support.
Right.
And it just is what it is. And you're going to lose a lot, but you're going to gain a lot. Ultimately, you just got to hope people see your heart and see your intentions. That's really what all I want to do is just be an open book. I'm not going to. People always say, I hope you don't got no skeletons. No. No. Whatever you want to know, I'll tell you. I'm a human, just like you.
And I think the best part of your story is you have had, ups and downs, but those you can't, in my opinion, peers, right? Peers are people with lived experience. We're able to help, right? Because I have lived your experience. I've been there. I have gone out of it. I'm here now, and now I can assist you.
And that's how we are here today.
Right. And so I think it's important for you to have had some of those challenges that you've experienced as, a younger person. And
I wouldn't be here without it.
It makes you who you are, and it makes you more human, and have the ability to connect with our community and know their pains. Something in our community that's obviously a big issue is drugs and alcohol.
Absolutely.
So, and also it's tough because there has been a lot of criminal justice reform.
Oh, yeah.
Whether anything's actually passed or not. Right. Somebody could be arrested 400 times and still be out on the street. But there's a lot going on with the criminal justice stuff. So how do you propose that we, have a community that has less addiction to drugs and alcohol, but is also not sending everyone to prison because it's not making anything too much better?
Great question. Again, I think at this point, we have to really, really get down to the root issues. I've worked in drug treatment, as have you. Actually, that's where we met. And I really, really, and I've also had a bout myself with alcoholism after I stopped playing football because I didn't love myself. I really didn't know what my path was. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I said, okay, let me just numb this stuff every day. And eventually you start unraveling. And I think that's what is the main thing is a lot of people are lacking self-love, self-worth, and they just want to continue to numb, and then they just start damaging and creating more damage out here externally. So what I believe is we gotta start getting more healthy programs out here for these people to be able to be assessed correctly. We got to start having more of you. We got to start having more people like you and more people like the treatment centers that actually mean well to get out here and really just say, we're waiting on you to come to us. No, let's go get them.
Right.
Yeah. We have to be proactive instead of reactive. I think there's too much reactiveness going on, especially in that type of work, in that type of situation.
Yeah.
So I want to be the first one to say, let's go get some money allocated to start being proactive. Let's go ahead and start setting up places out here, not just special events, but let's have something regularly to where homeless know they can come and check in, or people with mental health issues can regularly come check in, or so on and so forth. We have enough resources to create these opportunities for people.
We have money.
We have it. We have it.
We just got to spend it the right way.
We building 60-floor condos here. Okay?
Right?
So
seriously.
We got it,
And, and obviously, like we spoke about in the beginning, I think that the gap is just going to continue to grow in our area of the haves and the have-nots.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's really important to take care of the individuals. Like I said, a lot of people call me like, there's all these homeless people, they're frustrated because they live here. They bought $1 million apartments and this is in their backyard and they're frustrated. So I totally understand that. But what I tell them is these people, they're their entire lives.
That's right.
And now they make $800, $900 a month and they can't afford to live anywhere. And everyone keeps talking about affordable housing. But what does that mean to you?
Affordable housing means, that's
because no one ever wants to talk about what affordable means. So
Right.
I would like for you to tell us what you think affordable means.
So affordable, first of all, has to be realistic, right? As you just stated, the average rent is going up, but nobody's making any more money.
Right.
So let's start addressing that issue. We got to start paying people more money. Like I said earlier, we got to get small businesses more involved, get them more money.
But what about these individuals? Because most of our unhoused individuals are over the age of 50.
Okay.
And most of them are on disability, making $800 to $900 a month. And we're seeing massive increases in seniors on the street.
That is a fact.
Because they're on the fixed income. So how do you help individuals who are on a fixed income?
Right. So this is where we go into our 55 and up communities. This is where we start advocating for those people and for those 55 and up communities to start sectioning off certain, because they make a lot of money, okay, in those Section 8, not Section 8, but in those 55 and up communities. And there are tons of them. Right. There's no reason why we should have elderly people, especially veterans, veterans homeless.
Right.
That is absolutely not right. So I feel like we got to get into these 55 and over communities. We got to start speaking to them, but we got to start incentivizing them to help us house some of these older people that are out here homeless, out here struggling. That's somebody's grandparent. That's somebody's father, mother. We can't just let them just be out here.
And I think it could be the easiest thing to fix because no one wants to hurt old people. This is my thing. We have a whole slew of other people that need the services as well. But in my mind, I can't help but think like, this is a no-brainer. 100%. Don't you want grandma to be inside person? Great. Like, I just don't understand how it's not already a thing that they're working on more diligently.
100%.
Because they say affordable housing and they keep making workforce housing, and there's a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Workforce housing, you need to make at least $50,000 a year.
Right.
Okay, so that makes no difference to me.
Right.
As an outreach worker or somebody in the social work. So I just hope that you take that with you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. So this is again like why I love to be connected with people like you, because these are the issues that I'm going to need to stay up on. And I want you to hold me accountable on it.
Oh, I will.
Please do. Please do, because that's the only way we get better.
Right, and we need change. And that's why I was so happy to have you on, because it's so great to see a young person. I've been doing this thing on the podcast, If I Were President, and I do all these little things that I would do.
Yep.
But it truly is so nice to see young people getting involved. And Tay Edmonds is young too. I think he's actually younger than both of us.
He's younger than both of us. Yeah.
He's a baby, but I do think it's important for you to be out there and for people to just see that like you're making so many cool things happen.
I'm so excited.
I think it's awesome. So when do you plan? So this past weekend you were collecting signatures. How many signatures do you have so far?
I don't know. We need a lot more though. We got to get about $1,900 to get on the ballot, for my name to get on the ballot. So you guys won't have to write it in. You'll just check it, which makes a huge difference during voting. So I'll be out and about. I think we got about, I've been pretty much collecting them. I think we got about 100 or so, maybe 200. I just literally started about maybe 3 weeks ago when I only decided I was going to run about a month ago.
What was that night like? Did you wake, did you have a dream? Like how did you decide to like finally like do it? Cause it's kind of scary cause you're right. If you do have any skeletons in your closet, you might not care, but they're going to still bring it up. Like I know all my stuff's on the internet already, but it's still something you got to answer to. And so
absolutely.
What was the...
So I had a good conversation with one of my really good trusted confidants and friends, and he felt like it was time. He felt like I had what it took. I have gained enough experience. I've tough enough skin at this point to be able to handle all the ridicule that come my way. I'm passionate enough to stand up in any fire. I just know who I am in God. I know what my intentions are. I know I don't intentionally try to hurt people, disrespect people, put people down. That's not my makeup. That's not in my DNA. I wasn't raised like that. My grandmother would, knock my teeth out if I do anything disrespectfully. So I just was raised on good moral values, and that's what I want to bring to politics. I know first thing people said was, oh, you ready to be, some people, are you ready to become a liar, thief? I'm like, that's human beings, man. Right. That's not just politicians. All humans do that. Right. So stop that. You know what I mean? I'm going to be me, no matter what, because before I'm a politician, before I'm an entrepreneur, before anything else, I'm a man, and I answer to God. And if I don't do what God tells me to do, I get punished. So I don't like being punished by God. I just don't.
Really quick, because we got to wrap up here, but I think it'll be important for some of our listeners. So you said, when you got done playing football, you started drinking a lot. Yeah. And I was wondering what that looked like, and how did you pull yourself out of that space?
It was ugly. I just wasn't happy with me. I wasn't happy with my circumstances. I wasn't happy with the results from my decisions. And eventually I started losing everything, including myself. And that's what I looked around and said, hey, man, this is not a good path. And at this time I had my son. So I really realized, like, okay, I came to a severe breaking point to where I almost like really acted on a suicide. And and then I realized, like, I can't do that. What are people going to tell my son? My son was like 1.5 at the time. Wow. So he wouldn't even really know me. And that's when I knew, like, okay, this thing is going too far. I got to get it together. I curled up in the ball, cried like a baby, asked God to help me take this stuff away from me. And I can't make it up. It literally went away. He woke me up 5 o'clock in the morning the next morning, and I went to a treatment center, got a job. So he put me right. I'm serious. Like, I just walked in there and said, hey, I need a job. Are y'all hiring? They say, here, yeah, boom.
And that was your way of submersing yourself into recovery, basically.
That was it.
You're like, I can't be drinking, working here, and doing all that. And did you have to tell your family? Were they helping you, or did you keep it a secret, or kind of?
So I come from that.
Secrets?
No, alcohol, drugs, and alcoholism. Like that's what it was normalized.
Sure.
That's what started. That's what planted the seed for me. I remember one of my grandmother's boyfriends, like, let me taste beer when I was like 7 or 8. Yeah. That culture was just around. So I just gravitated towards it naturally. And nobody told me, hey, except my mom. My mom was like, hey, you doing too much. You drinking too much. This is dangerous. But everybody else kind of just, everybody else kind of just rolled with the punches because they were doing it.
Right.
So it was me. I realized I wanted different. I wanted better. I wanted more for me. And that was a simple decision for me and my son, Yeah.
Good decision.
Absolutely. I'm so happy I did it.
Well, I am too. And I'm excited to see where this journey leads you. And I hope, like, at a minimum, obviously you have my support.
Thank you.
But I hope at a minimum you really press these individuals on what they're going to do for us. And if they're not going to do it, I hope they get out of the way and they let you accomplish some of these goals for our community, because we need it.
We're going to get them out the way if they don't want to. Either the way I see it is, I made my decision to either say, hey, you guys step up, or I'm going to do it. And it means too much to me. My son's growing up in Riviera Beach right now. My mentees are growing up in Riviera Beach, West Palm Beach, Lake Worth, Boynton. It means too much to me. It definitely does. So I'm passionate about this. This isn't something I'm just. And somebody asked me how far you want to go with this. As far as God want to take me. If God takes me up the ranks to Senate, to governor, to whatever,
Right.
I'm here to serve.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I appreciate your service.
Thank you. I appreciate yours.
Yeah, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
And everybody, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Back Alley Chat. As always, thank you our sponsor, Quick Intel. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, follow us on the Instagrams. Congratulations to Penthouse Whippet, who won our giveaway like 2 weeks ago. Congratulations, girl. And I love you guys so much. See you next week. Bye.